Hi, my name is Julia, and I am 9 years old, and I would like to know, do people live in swamps?
My name is Greg Grandy. I work with the Louisiana Protection and Restoration Authority as a coastal resources scientist. The question is, do people live in swamps? The answer is yes. There are people who live, work, and play in swamps. These people who live in swamps tend to be a little isolated from the rest of the general population, and they tend to have a very close connection with the land that they live on, where they hunt and where they trap and where they fish to provide themselves food that they need to live in these areas. They're kind of a connection back to the pioneering ancestors that we had that lived off of the land and had a very close connection to the seasonal rhythms and the different cycles that are at play, because those cycles provide the connection to their food source, and they have a very close connection to the periods of time when they need to be productive outdoors. In this context, it's important to note that the early explorers and settlers in our country didn't particularly value swamps or other wetland areas. They thought they were dreadful places that were full of mosquitoes. They were difficult for them to traverse. They were difficult for them to survey and describe. And you can even look at the names of places that they named. The Great Dismal Swamp in Virginia and North Carolina. It's very clear they didn't appreciate these places, and they weren't easy places for them to develop and live. Either their communities, they weren't good places to farm. So it's in that context, a lot of our lands were drained. A lot of our wetlands were drained in the United States. At the time of the colonial America, the area that now composes the 50 states of our country had approximately 392 million acres of wetlands. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service estimates that 50% of those wetlands have been destroyed over the last 2 centuries. Many wetlands were drained or filled to create harbors, to create farmland, or to create areas where people could develop homes. Today, the functions and values of wetlands are better understood than they were in the past. There are a myriad of laws and regulations on a local, state, and federal level that protect wetlands. In addition, there's a significant amount of programs to protect and restore wetlands